Well, good morning, everyone. I want to thank everyone for coming out today for another COVID-19 update from the city of Richmond. And hope everyone had a reflective Memorial Day weekend. As of today, in the city of Richmond, it's confirmed that we've had 1,112 positive cases of COVID-19. And as of today, we've had 21 deaths due to COVID-19. Earlier this month, the governor stated that the state's reopening plans represented the floor and not the ceiling for restrictions required to support public health. And in accordance with this statement, I sent a letter requesting that the city of Richmond be allowed to move into a modified version of Phase 1 that maintains current restrictions for places of worship and personal care and grooming based on the enhanced risk of close contact or mass gatherings. Now, I made that request based on our local data, my conversations with local businesses, faith and community leaders, and my belief that a sustainable reopening for the city requires a locally informed strategy that protects those who serve us all. Unfortunately, based on his letter yesterday afternoon, the governor did not authorize the modified phased reopening plan that we requested. Now, we've always believed that in this public health crisis, it's not a one-size-fits-all model for each locality. This decision places us in the position of deciding whether to move forward into Phase 1 this Friday, as the governor's order expires on Thursday. And as I said from the beginning, the data and our ability to protect our most vulnerable must guide our decision. As you can see from this chart to the left of Dr. Avula, the most recent data shows a flattening of the percent positivity rate over the last 7 days. We're obviously now not out of the woods just yet. Data from our hospitalizations and intensive care unit availability shows significant capacity. And in the past 2 weeks, we've implemented a tested technique for boxing in the virus. We will test, we'll trace, and we will isolate. We've expanded testing, built our contact tracing apparatus out, and we're ensuring that everyone who is COVID-19 positive can isolate safely. We've partnered with the state to distribute protective supplies in the neighborhoods that need them the most. And also in collaboration with the Commonwealth, we are adding significantly to our staffing at the Richmond City Health District to investigate new cases of COVID-19 among city residents and conduct subsequent contact tracing. And we've successfully advocated for a statewide face covering requirement, which the governor announced yesterday afternoon. And we all know that data shows that that simple step alone can significantly reduce the transmission of this deadly disease. Now, when I look at the picture in its totality, given the added tools at our disposal, the current trends in our local data, and my faith and belief in Richmonders to look out for one another, I believe that Richmond can cautiously, and I repeat cautiously, move into Phase 1 starting this Friday, May 29th. Now, what does this mean? In Phase 1, retail will be able to operate at 50% of capacity. Outdoor seating at restaurants, patios will be available at 50% of capacity. Houses of worship will be open at 50% capacity. And personal grooming barbershops, and beauty salons will be open by appointment. What will not be open will be entertainment establishments, fitness establishments, gyms, things of that nature. They will remain closed. You will be able to now visit your gym if you do the workouts outside. Consistent with my requests to delay certain aspects of Phase 1 reopening guidelines, in order for this reopening to be sustainable and safe, my administration is taking steps to lift some of the best practices among our faith communities and local businesses. These practices are rooted in conversations with the business community, with our faith leadership, and health professionals, and will protect the Richmonders, both those that are the staff in these institutions and those that attend and patronize them. First and foremost, we're asking everyone to wear your mask and cover your face when you are in public spaces, especially if it's challenging to maintain a 6 feet distance between individuals in that space. To our faith communities, I recommend you continue to operate virtually and refrain from in-person gatherings. If you choose to gather in person, I strongly recommend you do so outdoors while practicing strict social distancing. Our neighbors in Howard County, Maryland, have done just this, keeping indoor services small and opting for a distanced outdoor and virtual gatherings. To our restaurants and our breweries in town, for those who choose to open, we ask that you offer outdoor seating at half capacity. We're asking that you voluntarily keep a log of people you seat. You may ask why. This will help us in our contact tracing efforts by asking for the name and number of each group of diners, the same as you would with a reservation. Now, this is completely voluntary for both individuals and restaurants, but this small amount of information will help the health district trace and contain outbreaks should they occur. Now, I hope this data will not be necessary, but we want to be prepared. We believe that this will give your patrons the confidence that you are truly doing everything in your power to keep them and your staff safe. We ask that you join us in this effort. I'm also continuing to request that the state support us in our effort to control the spread of the virus. I'm asking the state to help us expand our testing capacity. We've done a good job, and I want to applaud the Richmond City Health District in helping and partnering with us to ensure we get to some of our most vulnerable communities. But in partnership with the state, we're doing our first mass testing event today in the South Side, and we have another large event on Saturday in the East End. We need the state support to do these types of mass testing in all corners of our great city. I'm also asking the governor to help us ensure adequate PPE access in all corners of Richmond. We appreciate the state support with getting 40,000 units of PPE that were distributed by the Richmond Fire Department over the past 2 weeks. They actually wrapped up yesterday. We've also worked with the region to source PPE toolkits for small businesses. But quite frankly, we're going to need a whole lot more to support our residents and our businesses to reopen safely and sustainably. We're working to source cloth masks for our communities, but we request their continued assistance to ensure the vulnerable communities have what they need to protect themselves and neighbors through this pandemic. And I would be remiss if I not thank Chamber RVA and our partnership with our neighboring counties as well in the creation of these toolkits to be distributed to our businesses. This morning, I started my day at the Arthur Ashe Center, as part of the distribution. It was great to see businesses who are expecting to open Friday come out and pick up toolkits to get started in keeping our patrons, our residents, safe. Now to the members of the business community. I want you to know that the city is an ally in this effort. I have the utmost faith in both our residents and our businesses that those who do open will do so in a safe and respectful way as possible. I trust our businesses. I trust the businesses who do choose to open and will do so with the utmost regard for the health and safety of their patrons and their employees. I want you to know I trust our residents who choose to go to a restaurant or even a barber will not do so if you have any symptoms of COVID-19 or believe you've been in close contact with someone with symptoms, and that you'll wear your mask no matter how good you feel in any of these establishments. Now, our restaurants are used to the high standards of cleaning here in Richmond and are prepared to follow the guidelines for PPE and social distancing that the governor has laid out in his reopening plan. And for those who have questions, we're working to make those expectations clear to you at our website, rvastrong.org. But I also say to those restaurants and personal grooming businesses that do not feel comfortable or prepared to move into phase one, that I respect your decision. I appreciate your dedication to public health and for your concern for your employees and for your patrons. In his response to my request yesterday, Governor Northam cited his position that just because a business can open does not mean they must open. I, for one, will support you in that decision, and I believe our community and your patrons will support you as well. Now, I urge all business owners to visit rvastrong.org/reopening guidance to sign up to receive PPE toolkits, inquire about new or expanded patio space, and view up-to-date guidance from the city. Now, I make these recommendations and requests of the state because, as has been my mantra this entire pandemic, reopening should be slow, steady, and cautious. Slow, steady, and cautious. Every decision we've made at the city has been informed by input from the business community, from our faith leadership, and of course, our medical and health experts. Because when public health is on the line, everyone, blindly pushing forward is not an option. Not an option. Decisions must be thoughtful, and they must be based on our collective knowledge of love within our city. Now, I stand behind the decision to request a 2-week delay, and I stand behind the recommendations I've made today. We are fighting for a safer and stronger Richmond, and that's what this has always been about. Public health and public safety first. Now, we begin this journey together. But that does not mean that we are out of the woods, ladies and gentlemen. This pandemic is not over by any stretch of your imagination. This pandemic is not over. So I request that you wear your mask, that you stay home if you can, that you stay safe, and that you stay strong. And I remind you that we are in this together, and I ask that we rise to the occasion together. With that, I'll ask Dr. Avula.